This is the Louie Tee Network.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! Who it could it be but me, your man, Louie Tee, on this beautiful, lovely Christmas day. Jacksonville Jaguars at home hosting the Tennessee Titans. No more Gus Bradley. Doug Marrone is taking over as the interim head coach. And what does that mean? I don't know. But I do know if the Tennessee Titans win this game and next week's game, they're the AFC South champions. I do know that. A loss by the Titans, however, to the Jacksonville Jaguars, coupled with a win by the Texans later on that night, would mean that the Texans would clinch the AFC South. So, for all of the goodwill the Titans have done this season to get themselves in a position at 8-6, it could all go for naught with one misstep late in the season at Jacksonville. The Texans avoided the same fate that the Titans would meet in this game just a week ago. Could the Titans find a way to avoid the booby trap set by the Jacksonville Jaguars? We'll talk about that here in a second. But first, Merry Christmas to you again. And if you haven't already done so, spread the cheer and the love and subscribe to the Louie Tee Network for more great content 2016 and beyond. We're changing the game over here. I want you to help us do that by hitting that subscribe button on YouTube of the Louie Tee Network. Also, I'm on Twitter at In the Lab Room is the Twitter handle, and I'm also on Facebook. In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. Go ahead and follow me there on my social media platforms, right up there in the center console, scrolling across the screen so you can't miss them. So let's break this game down. Let's start with the Jacksonville Jaguars. They won 3-12 now on the season after this impressive 38-17 victory over the Tennessee Titans. We know the big story from this game, the Marcus Mariota injury. We'll get to that a little bit later on, but we'll talk first about the Jaguars in this football game. Very impressive. First of all, Blake Bortles looked good in this game, and I don't know if there's any correlation to Gus Bradley being fired and Blake Bortles playing better, and this team overall looking much better and playing inspired football. You know how it is. Initially, when a coach gets fired, there's a little bit of a boost, an initial boost that happens, and then team tails off and goes back into their normal ways. The ones that got the last and previous coach fired, I don't know if there's enough time for all of that. I don't know if Mike Mularkey's the right man for the job. Remember, Mike Mularkey was a somewhat of a commodity leaving Buffalo. He thought he was going to get a job. He didn't, and he ended up having to get on a staff in Jacksonville and wait till he gets another opportunity. Maybe this is it. But in any event, they looked much better. This was a much sharper, crisper football team in Jacksonville. Thought Blake Bortles played by far, in a way, his best game of the season. Now, granted, there were some big catches made by some of his receivers to bail him out. A lot of his incompletions came on him just throwing the football into the ground on screens that weren't there, which I want him to do. I don't want him taking irresponsible chances and turning the football over. I don't want him making boneheaded decisions and throws. I want him running on 1st and 10 for 2 yards and sliding like he did in this football game. I want him throwing that screen into the ground on 2nd and 10 and living the fight another day. I want him making those smart decisions. I don't want him throwing the idiotic decision interception where you go, what are you thinking about, Blake? Why did you do that? I don't want him doing that. I want him being smart with the football, and he was in this football game. Ben Koyak made a huge one-handed grab on a 3rd down that made Blake Bortles look good. Allen Robinson, A-Rob, finally showed up. Haven't seen him, seems like, all season long. He had a huge game, and it's no coincidence that he makes play after play in this game, and they win this game. It's not a coincidence. They have to get their best players involved in the football game, in the game plan. They did that in this game. He made a huge one-handed catch on a drive that was huge and paramount for this team to win this football game. It's not a coincidence. These guys making plays for Blake Bortles, and it just kind of reciprocating. The defense was outstanding in this game. Shut down the Titans running game, and that's the first thing you have to do if you're going to beat the Titans. Stop their rushing attack. Then they shut down Marcus Mariota, and then they hurt him. We'll talk about that when we get to the Titans. But the beauty of what they did in this game is they had an answer for everything the Titans offered up in this game. And that's something that we haven't seen from the Jaguars. Opening possession of the game, when do the Jaguars ever score a touchdown? They usually don't. Listen to this. Blake Bortles, in his 3 seasons, has 5, not first drive touchdowns. Listen to what I'm about to say. This is crazy. Listen to what I'm about to say to you. Not 5 first drive touchdowns. Blake Bortles has 5 first quarter touchdown drives. 5 in 3 seasons. 5, that's it. You're talking about almost 48 games. He has only led his team to a touchdown in the first quarter 5 times. In 47 games. Is that not insane? Well, it's not 47. He didn't start in his rookie season from week 1. Let's say that he didn't start till like week 5 of his rookie season. In any event, you're talking about over 40 games. Blake Bortles has only led his team on a first quarter touchdown drive in 5 games. 5 times, I mean. 5 times. 5 times. That's it. That's insane. That's how inept they've been offensively with Blake Bortles at quarterback. So that was a great start to the game, number 1. They don't do that very often. They did it in this game. Number 2, every time the Titans tried to scratch and claw their way back into this game, Jags jumped on them 10-0 in this game. Titans go and score a touchdown, cut it to 10-7. They go right back down the field right before the half, put together a beautiful 9-minute drive right before the half, and get a touchdown and make it 16-7, miss the extra point. Then they get the field goal right before the half and make it 19-7. So just when the Titans thought they were safe, that they had weathered the storm early, the Jags go and get 9 unanswered points to make it 19-7 at the halftime break. Then the Titans say, okay, you're going to kick a couple of field goals. You're going to make this thing a little interesting. You're going to try to run away from us. No, we're not having it. So then the Titans go and they score a touchdown after getting a field goal, and they make it 25-17. They're within 1 score. Okay, we're in the 4th quarter. You're starting to get tight. If you're a Jaguars fan, you're thinking, here we go again. We're going to blow another lead. And they take the football down the field. They make some huge plays, and they get in the end zone on a pass from Marquise Lee to Blake Bortles for a touchdown to put this game out of reach. So responding after the Titans tried to close the gap, that was the theme of the day for me, and why the Jaguars found a way to win this game 38-17. They made the plays in this game that had to be made, and they get the win. And this is a big win for them. I mean, again, you don't know what the future holds for this franchise. You don't know if Doug Marrone is a guy or not, but this is a great start for him in Jacksonville. That is for sure. The running game I thought was really solid too. Chris Ivory, when he wasn't fumbling in this game and wasn't injured, actually did some good things. I thought they did a good job of staying relatively balanced, and Blake Bortles threw it well in this game. When he's not turning it over, he's not half bad, but he's got to make smarter decisions. He did that in this game, and if he can continue to do that, maybe he's not all bad in Jacksonville. We'll see. Again, don't want to blow this one game out of proportion. We've seen a lot of bad from Blake and not enough good this season. You go to the Tennessee Titans side of things, and this was really disappointing because you've done all of this. You beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City last week. The week prior, you take down Denver 13-10. You look like you're poised to make a run in the AFC South. You've got everything you need to be a dangerous out in the AFC. You've got a run game. You've got a quarterback that can move and that is mobile, that is accurate when given time. You've got a defense that plays football and can and will create turnovers if you're sloppy. You got everything you need to be a formidable challenge come January, and you self-destruct at the end of December, and that's frustrating. And to add insult to injury, you lose Marcus Mariota. And he suffered and sustained the same exact injury that Derek Carr did, a broken fibula, going to need surgery. And the timetable is, who knows, but it doesn't really matter. The Titans have now been eliminated from playoff contention with the loss. And it's a tough, bitter end to a season that had so much promise. Look, this is the thing you got to take away from this game. If there's a silver lining in this dark gray cloud here, and if there's any solace that you take from this loss, is that you say, look, man, you got to be reflective. And maybe now isn't the time, if you're a Titans fan, to be reflective. Because in the moment, you're frustrated, you're mad because your team built you up, got you so excited, and then they allowed you to fall from grace. And it's a long-ass fall when you lose at Jacksonville, a 2 5-12 football team. You lose at their building. I know it's a long fall from grace, but you need to take a step back and acknowledge what you did this season if you're the Tennessee Titans. Who saw 8-7 at this point of the season? Who saw a chance for this team to be over 500 with a win next week at Houston? They have absolutely zero to play for. And I know it's Matt Castle. I don't know if you're going to win that game or not, but who saw the ability to be 9-7? Have that even be on the table for you this season after going 2-14 last year? I mean, it's remarkable what this Titans team has done this season. They're still growing. They're still learning. And even your veterans on the team are still making mistakes, like Wesley Woodyard having a face mask penalty on 3rd and long, and they were going to have to punt the football. They just had 3rd down. They didn't convert. They're going to have to punt the football. And he's grabbing the face mask of an offensive lineman and gets a penalty. That's stupid, and it cost you 3 points. That's how you lose football games. Again, it is what it is. And bottom line, at the end of the day, okay, the Titans weren't ready, and I said that before. I believed it. I said that I thought the Texans were going to win the division, and they did. I just didn't think they were ready. Much like the Buccaneers, they're not ready yet. But it's okay. They took a huge step in the right direction this season, and in this particular game, I thought that the running game didn't work, and this is the thing that you have to know with the Titans. They have to be able to run the football. It is paramount to the success of their football team. They got to be able to go out and get stops defensively. They did neither of those things in this game consistently. They didn't run it effectively. They didn't get stops, and that's two things that they had done on this winning streak very well. They had stopped teams. They ran the football well. They did all the things that you needed to do to at least keep the game close. They did not keep it close in this one. The Jaguars basically had a nice cushion the entire game, with the exception of a couple of drives where the Titans were able to put together. Matt Castle comes in after the injury, takes him down the field, cuts it to an 8-point game at 25-17. But right after that, I talked about the defense needed to get stops. They couldn't get a stop, and they allowed Jacksonville to take it right down the field and get into the end zone and make it 32-17. It is what it is. Bottom line is, it's not a failure. I look at this as a successful season for the Tennessee Titans. I know there's no success in making the playoffs after having a legitimate shot, but I look at it as, look, who expected you to be here? And I understand you don't want to hear that right now, and I get that. And I'm not mad at you for feeling that way. But after it's all said and done, take a step back. And the one thing that bothers me here is that Marcus Mariota, for a second consecutive season, is going to finish the season injured and not available. That's the thing that scares me the most. Is he injury prone? Now I'm starting to question, because 2 seasons, 2 straight years, he doesn't finish the season playing football. And that's a problem for me, something that concerns me, because you got to be available. That's the best ability to have, is availability. And right now, Marcus Mariota, for 2 straight years, hasn't been able to be available at season's end. That's a problem. That's something to keep a note of as we move forward with this Tennessee Titans football team. But in any event, great win by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jason Myers was outstanding in this game. Outside of the 2 missed extra points, he was stellar in this football game. And they got to find ways to be better, more consistently. Maybe Doug Marrone is the guy. Maybe he's not. We'll find out. But one thing's for sure. This was impressive as the Jacksonville Jaguars have looked all season. No Gus Bradley. Is that a coinky dink or not? I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know. Stop asking. I don't know why. But in any event, let's get to some of your comments. Can't answer all of them. Obviously, it's Christmas. Got a lot to get to, so I'll try to knock out as many of these as I can. Vincent Coe says, wow, maybe this is what the Jaguars are supposed to be, but Gus Bradley messed it up, LOL. Maybe. That's what I said. I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Archangel says, Merry Christmas to you and your fam, and with another Redskins win and a little bit of luck, who knows, y'all could clinch a playoff spot. I know, right? Hey, all I can do is say, hey, let the chips fall where they may. We got to go out, take care of business, get a W. Let the chips fall where they may, and it is what it is. The Giants don't need that game. Maybe they say, hey, y'all can have this one. Go ahead, take it. And then maybe we get a little bit of help. But look, I'm not one to beg, okay? I'm too proud to beg, man. All right? I'm not TLC. I ain't too proud to beg. I am too proud to beg. I do have pride. I'm not going to beg for this because we had opportunities and we blew it. So now, whatever we get, we deserve. I said that already. if we get in, we deserve to get in. If we don't deserve to get in. And that's the way it is. Andrew Kim says, Merry Christmas. Looking forward to the Ravens-Steelers game. The AFC North is on the line. Going to be a good one. I can't wait. Bart Scott can't wait. We are literally about 35 minutes out from that game right now. Vincent Coe says, ha, ha, ha. Blake Bortles playing like a mini Big Ben. That was a comparison coming out of college. He looked good in this game, but again, the consistency is what we're looking for from Blake Bortles. Andrew Kim says, really sucks for Mariota. The Titans season was a great turnaround from last season, and I think it could be a really good team next season. And I think that's the case. If he's healthy, he's got to stay healthy. He is the cog, the biggest cog in that Titans machine. He makes that car go, and if he's not healthy, they can't go anywhere. He's got to stay upright, does Marcus Mariota. Archangel says, with the Redskins win yesterday, what do you think your chances are now, Lou? I think they're okay. I mean, they're the same as they were. Now that the Bucs have lost, I feel a lot more confident that, we can do this. But we need a Lions loss on Monday, and I'm asking for a lot there. And even if the Lions win, we still got a shot. But it just becomes that much harder. Then we need the Lions to then beat the Green Bay Packers and win the division. So we need help either way. But I would feel much better knowing that the Lions lost, because if the Lions lose this game, then all of a sudden I'm in a position where I'm in a win-win position. Because if the Lions lose on Monday night to the Cowboys, then no matter what happens, if the Redskins win, they're going to get in the playoffs unless there's a tie. Then they would miss out. But if the Redskins win, and the Lions and both the Packers and Lions are 9-6 going into the final game, someone's going to finish up with 9 wins. Redskins have a chance to get to 9 and would be ahead of both of those teams via that one tie. So I feel good about my chances, but again, we got to win. So that's another big hump and hurdle we have to get over is we have to win. And so nothing matters unless we win. Andrew Kim says, do you think McDaniels or Coughlin or even Marrone could be the head coach for the Jags next year? Also heard some rumors about people thinking Bortles should be a receiver. They aren't serious right now. They're not serious. After the touchdown catch he had, you probably heard a couple of jokes. I heard your jokes. But nah, they're not serious about that. Bottom line is, I heard Coughlin's name up in that discussion. Remember, he was the first ever head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So a reunion there makes sense. I heard he's not a big Blake Bortles fan, so that could have a little bit of an impact and a bearing on whether he gets the job or not. If Marrone finishes up strong, let's say they win the last game of the season as well, who knows? He could be in the running to get this job. And then, of course, there are other candidates like Josh McDaniels, like Tavon, Terrell Austin in Detroit. There are other options and candidates out there who will get a look-see when it's all said and done that are coordinators right now. So we'll see what happens with the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's an interesting job because the defense, I think, is loaded. But then again, you still have some questions on the offensive side, and I think that's what some coaches will be looking at, especially if you're an offensive-minded head coach. You're going to be tied to the quarterback position, not necessarily Blake Bortles, but you might have to draft a guy. And I'm not seeing many options out there worth drafting right now. So that could be something that could be interesting down the line. Archangel says, what do you think the Jags need? What are they missing? Right now, for me, the biggest question mark is the quarterback position, obviously. I think they need a lead back. I thought Chris Ivory had a good game, but he's getting up there in age, and he's always banged up, and he fumbled a couple of times in this game as well. TJ Yeldon is always banged up. They need a strong candidate back there in the backfield to take some of the pressure off of Blake Bortles. That would be nice. Also, I think they could use a big-time tight end target. They got a bunch of stuff at tight end, so I don't see them addressing that because they got Ben Koyak, a young tight end. They got the kid that they drafted out of the 7th round. His name escapes me right now, but he's a big kid at the tight end position. He's athletic. I don't see them, and they still got Juice. They spent money on Juice. I don't see them doing it. But see, Juice is never healthy, so you just don't know what you're getting there. I'd love to see them get some consistency out of tight end position, and I'd love to see them just have some stability at quarterback. I think that's the biggest thing that's hurting them right now is instability at quarterback. They got plenty of weapons to throw the football to at receiver. Even the tight end position, like I just mentioned, they've got guys to throw it there as well. Sterling is his name. Sterling is one of the tight ends. I think they're fine at tight end. I rescind that. I think they're fine at tight end. If guys could just stay healthy, that's the biggest issue. Quarterback is the biggest problem right now for them. Quarterback, and they need their pass rushers to step up. Yannick Ngakoue has been a revelation this year. They need Dante Fowler Jr. to step up. He got a sack in this game, so that was nice. I'd like to see those guys be a little bit more consistent defensively. Though, I'm going to tell you right now, Jalen Ramsey, legit. Legit. Okay? Protect428 says, so what do you think of this Titans performance? Disappointing. I think that's the biggest way to describe this, best way, I should say, to describe this performance is disappointing. With all that was on the line, and to just need to go out and beat Jacksonville. I understand it's family business. I get it. I understand. But come on, man. Don't lay an egg like this at Jacksonville. Find a way. The good teams in this league, they don't have to play well against Jacksonville. They just have to play well enough. The Broncos didn't play well against them, but they played well enough. They won 20-10. The Texans didn't play well last week versus Jacksonville Jaguars team, but they played well enough and they found a way to win 21-20. You have to find a way to beat Jacksonville. They're pesky. They're going to give you a run for your money, but you got to find a way to pull it out. And they just couldn't do that on this day. So that was disappointing. Andrew Kim says, Ramsey has been balling the last 2 weeks. Another player that has been as good as Marquise Lee. Maybe USC wide receivers take a while to develop, but they aren't busts. Maybe. They're coming around. But, I used to tell you all the time, be careful with those USC wide receivers, man. They are trouble. But Marquise Lee, man, the key for him was just stay healthy. Stay healthy. Now, I can't say the same for Nelson Aguilar, but just stay healthy, man. If Marquise Lee stays healthy, to me, he's been the most productive Jags receiver this season. Hands down, bar none. And so that's a good sign for them because you didn't get anything out of Allen Hurns this year due to injury. Marquise Lee has been your best receiver, and you still got A-Rob, who played like a man-child this game, and that's what you need. You need these guys to step up, and if you get all three of these guys playing at a high level at the same time, come on now. Who can stop this Jaguars passing attack if they get the right man pulling the trigger? Maybe that right man is Blake Bortles. Maybe he just needs to be in a better offensive scheme. Who knows? I don't know. All I know is the Jacksonville Jaguars ended the season of the Tennessee Titans 38-17 in Week 16 with a huge W in Week 16 with Doug Marrone as the interim head coach. It was a big win and a huge debilitating loss for the Tennessee Titans as they drop to 8-7 and see their playoff hopes fall by the wayside along with Marcus Mariota's season as he leaves the game with a broken fibula, and he will not be back the remainder of the season. Obviously, let's just hope that he's okay, ready to start next season, and is able to stay healthy. It's going to do it for Jags and Titans in Week 16. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here on lockdown coverage here in the lab room on the Louie Tee Network. Remember, we're changing the game one live feed at a time. Jaguars get a huge win, their third of the season, 38-17 over the Tennessee Titans, knocking the Titans out of playoff contention. I'll be back. Patriots, Jets, another ass whooping. I'll be back with that one here in a second. I'll see you then. Have a good one. Merry Christmas.